Hey folks, I hope you guys are well. So, without further ado, on June 21st, 2025, for me that's yesterday, the United States President Donald Trump announced that the United States Air Force and Navy had attacked multiple nuclear sites in Iran, including the Fordow Enrichment Plant, Natanz Nuclear Facility, and an unspecified site in Isfahan using over a dozen 30,000-pound bombs carried by the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, as well as Tomahawks fired from submarines. These nuclear facilities are some of Iran's most significant uranium enrichment centers. The ongoing Iran-Israel war since June 13th has seen extensive fighting between Iran and Israel. Congressional support largely supported Trump's actions, while most Democrats and some Republicans were concerned about the constitutionality of the move. The international community generally reacted with alarm and worry over Iranian retaliation and further escalation. All right, let's check out this background. So, Donald Trump has consistently maintained that Iran should not be permitted to nuclear weapons since at least 2011. Iran has been a part of the NPT, which is this, since its creation in 1970. But there has been extended dispute over the status of its nuclear program, and it's been found non-compliant with the NPT, for which it faced extended economic sanctions. This was negotiated in 2015 as part of the Iran nuclear deal, or the JCPOA, okay, which lifted some sanctions. However, during Trump's first presidency, in 2018, the U.S. withdrew from the JCPOA and reinstated sanctions on Iran, which received a generally negative response internationally, particularly from the European Union. Israel, which never signed the NPT, but is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons, has repeatedly stated its aims to prevent another Middle Eastern nation from gaining possession of nuclear weapons, and has likely been involved in the assassination of Iranian nuclear scientists, among other actions. The conflict between Iran and Israel has been intensifying since the October 7, 2023 attacks by Hamas, as Hamas is partially funded by Iran. Historically, the U.S. has supported Israel in the Middle East, and particularly has financed Israel's military through United States foreign military financing, which is interesting, and I want to read about that, as well as supporting Israel's military actions. Multiple advisors of Trump, including Steve Bannon and Tulsi Gabbard, warned against war with Iran and have claimed Iran is not considered to be building a nuclear weapon by the intelligence community, after Trump called Gabbard wrong, quote, wrong, and said he did not care what she said. Gabbard changed her position and said Iran could have a nuclear weapon within months. William Hartung warned of the trend in Washington of pledging to back up Israel's military actions regardless of escalations after a surprise attack from Israel on June 12, 2025. Some supporters of Trump in the United States have criticized Trump's support for Israeli strikes against Iran and the possible involvement of the United States in the war. A 2025 poll of Trump found 53% said U.S. should not get involved in the Iran-Israel conflict, which is significant. So 53% is quite nearly half of U.S. people that took that poll. But polls are polls. Sorry, I'm continuing. A separate June 2025 poll by the Washington Post found 45% opposed to U.S. military launching airstrikes against Iran. 30% were unsure and 25% supported. In the weeks leading up to June 22nd, the U.S. evacuated its citizens, issued travel warnings, and withdrew non-essential personnel from its embassies. On June 17th, Trump called on Iran to unconditionally surrender. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told U.S. allies over recent days that Washington would prefer to see a diplomatic solution, and Trump had sent U.S. officials to Tehran in support of a nuclear deal. On June 19th, Trump issued a statement via White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt saying, based on the fact that there is substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go in within the next 2 weeks. According to sources, on the same day, Israeli officials, including Netanyahu, Katz, Zamir, called the Trump administration, saying that they would not wait 2 weeks. The Israelis thought they only had a small opportunity window. The U.S. is the only nation that has bunker busters that are capable of penetrating Fordow. Phone call also included J.D. Vance, who pushed back, citing concerns about direct U.S. involvement in being pulled into the war, and Pete Hegseth. That sentence needs some help. On 21st of June, the United States deployed B-2 stealth bombers to Guam, a U.S. base in West Asia, entered a state of highest alert and improved air defense, as Iran threatened to strike any country assisting Israel. The Houthis also declared their readiness to fight. In response, the United States warned of a devastating retaliation should American interest be threatened. ABC News reported that the American and Israeli militaries had conducted a practice run of this attack during a training exercise in mid-2024 during the Biden administration. Interesting. Axios reported that the top Democrats of the Senate and House intelligence panels were not given advance notice of the attack, while the top Republicans were. Okay, so the article continues with a short chapter on the strikes. Actually, not so short. And also a chapter on reactions. Or support, rather. That has opposition. And there's an analysis chapter. So, definitely a pretty thorough report. Really quickly put this up. That's pretty cool. Of course, this is a protected article, so that means that not just any editor can contribute. It needs to be an editor with some sort of with experience. Only experienced editors, so that lends it some more credibility. Anyways, this is an ongoing event, of course, and there are developments as I'm reading it. People are flag waving that this could be, this events like this could maybe drag the world into a world war. Of course, it's not written anywhere in this article. It's just kind of some of the sensationalist headlines that you can read these days about this event. Anyways, hope everyone's doing good, and I was glad to learn about this. And if you guys listened, please subscribe. My channel is doing horribly. I have 300-ish subscribers. So if you did enjoy, join this the tribe, the Wiki tribe, as I'm calling it, for more content like this. And you can always suggest other articles in the comments or suggest anything. Subscribe. Also have a good day. Wiki with me is signing out.